Hello again guys, it's Edward here back in another video. This is a new what if guys. I'm gonna be posting part 4 of what if Naruto left Jiraiya after the training trip, as well as updating my other what ifs as well. And some of my old ones too, which I did not complete, I'll be updating them too. So this is what if Naruto was the god of chakra, so let's get straight into the video. We're gonna start this video in an era long before the time of the Sage of the Six Parts. Naruto Otsutsuki is currently guarding Kaguya Otsutsuki, the princess of the Otsutsuki. Naruto is like, Kaguya's personal guard, because, he's like the strongest among the elites, which, have went through a strong amount of training in order to protect the princess. So, Kaguya is seeing all the wars which are going on Earth, and, she then, talks to Naruto, because, Naruto is like a close family member to her. So, she starts talking and telling Naruto, about the wars and everything, how she wished she would stop them. And then Naruto is like, but if you eat the fruit of the Shinju tree, you could, stop all these wars. Kaguya then said, yeah, but if I eat it alone, it'll be too much for me. Why don't we, cut it in half for each of us? But Naruto then said, but it's forbidden. We have to do it, very discreetly, secretly, so the rest of the Otsutsuki do not find out. As Kaguya then nods to Naruto. As 3 years time skip. Naruto and Kaguya, have been training for a bit, trying to get the endurance and everything up, just in case they have to fight, the Shinju tree for its fruit. So they arrive at the Shinju tree as they go into its trunk. Naruto, notices the fruit. His Kaguya as well. Naruto then plucks off the fruit as he cuts it in half. He then gives Kaguya half and takes half. Naruto starts to feel a burning sensation in his eyes. His whole body is changing. Kaguya as well. They both eventually pass out from the pain. When they wake up, Kaguya has changed. She has some horns and a third eye, which is like a reincarnation. Naruto as well. He also has a third eye and a renegade. Naruto, senses his own chakra and says, wow, I feel powerful. Naruto says, Kaguya, then says, yeah, me too, Naruto. But did you get the knowledge of your abilities? Which Naruto then nods and says, yes, I got the knowledge of my abilities, but we're gonna need to first train on them. As Kaguya then nods as well. Time skip, 2 months. Kaguya and Naruto have been training, and during these 2 months training, they've been getting very, very close. As Kaguya then eventually confesses to Naruto her feelings, which Naruto then accepts the feelings, and they start dating. So during the duration of the years, the first war happens on Earth, where the samurais are fighting, for land and resources. Kaguya and Naruto, step in as, Kaguya uses the Shinra Tensei to attack, the invading forces, destroys them, utterly brutally destroys them, not even batting an eye. Naruto, is also there, as he watches his girlfriend decimate these warriors, which Naruto is just making to himself, how strong Kaguya has become. So, after, the first war has happened, peace is then established. Kaguya, has established their own type of peace, where, people who have to understand each other. So, with the help of Naruto, they started spreading ninju, because Naruto is the creator of ninju. They started, preaching ninju to everyone, as well as spreading their chakra. But, Naruto and Kaguya, gave them strict warnings of, if they use this chakra for war, they'll come back and take it. Which, the people of that time, highly regarded it. Time skip 4 years. Kaguya and Naruto have eventually gotten married and have 2 children, Hagoromo and Hamura. Hamura inherited his mother's Byakugan and Hagoromo inherited his father's eyes, the eyes of the sage. Time skip when Hagoromo and Hamura are 6 years old. Hagoromo gets trained by his father to master the Rinnegan. Hamura gets trained by his mother to master the Byakugan and all his techniques. As they're training, Hamura then goes to his father, Hagoromo goes to his mother, in exchange of techniques as they continue teaching them. Time skip when Hagoromo and Hamura are both 17 years old. Now they feel a dark, malevolent presence. As they rush to their father. As Naruto is sitting on the couch, he says, so the Shinju is finally here after this long while. Kaguya also comes in and says, Naruto Koi, the Shinju. As Naruto then says, don't worry about it, Kaguya-chan, I've got it. So Naruto teleports Hagoromo, Hamura and Kaguya away. As he then goes to face the Jubi. So the Shinju is like the Jubi in another form. So the Shinju is like, it's looking pretty pissed that Naruto and Kaguya took his chakra. As the tree then says, you thief, give me back what is rightfully mine. As Naruto then says, rightfully yours. The chakra fruit was there for the picking, and I picked it up. So the Jubi then swings its tails at Naruto. As Naruto then stops the tails as he then makes his perfect Susanoo. As he and the Jubi start fighting, the Jubi launches a tail beast bomb. Naruto deflects it with his Totsuka blade. Naruto then says Amaterasu as he tries to burn the Jubi, but the Jubi is very resilient and is refusing to die. Time skip 3 hours later. Naruto is starting to slow down. The Jubi is always slowing down. So Naruto then sees he doesn't have a lot of chakra left because he's been spending a lot of chakra in the heavy techniques he's been doing. So he then decides to seal the Jubi up so that maybe one of his sons can later defeat it and maybe do something else in future. So Naruto then starts to draw up the seal to seal the Jubi. He can't really seal it within himself because he doesn't have enough chakra left. So Kaguya starts to feel Naruto's life force fading away. As she then uses her Rinnegan ability to teleport her Hagoromo and Hamura to Naruto, where they find drawing up the seal. So Naruto then tells them to step away as the Jubi brings down its tail. It stabs Naruto in the stomach. Immediately poisons his chakra stream. Naruto then coughs up blood. Naruto then says, you lose, Jubi. Sealing jutsu. 10 levels of hell, he says. As the Jubi, is sealed into the ground with the heavy seal matrix. So Hagoromo, Hamura and Kaguya, rush up to Naruto. Naruto then says, to think I've lived this long, Naruto says. He then looks at Hagoromo and Hamura, my sons. Please accept the proceedings of Ninju. I want you to go around the world, spread Ninju. Complete what I have failed. I know I have failed to defeat the Jubi, but I think one of you will have to seal it within themselves. Or Hagoromo, you're going to have to divide it, create other 9 beings and seal its husk away. Kaguya, please continue to train my son, continue to train our sons. Maybe if I reincarnate, I will meet you in future. But as for now, just know I love you, Naruto says to him. And he then kisses Kaguya. He then coughs out a bit and says, I'm proud of you, Hagoromo Hammer. With those last words, Naruto then dies. As all the mental nations are said for Naruto. Because he was a hero. He stopped the wars with his wife. Naruto gets buried, under like a tree which he planted with his wood style, which is also gonna be, the burial ground. Time skip 5 years. The sea which Naruto left has faded as the Jubi, comes out. With the help of Kaguya, Hagoromo manages, to seal the Jubi within himself. But, Kaguya is now a bit pretty old because she's been experiencing depression. She then, tells her sons that, her time to be on Earth, is coming short. Since they have Naruto spread, their chakra, they're no longer immortal. So, her time is almost up. She then gives Hagoromo and Hamura sage tools, which Naruto and her created. A war fan for, Hagoromo. And, like the golden, staff for both of them, staffs. So, she then says to her sons, take my parting gift raw. She then gives them the remainder of her chakra, as she then dies. They then bury Kaguya next to Naruto, which, becomes sort of a memorial place for the family of the Otsutsuki. So, time skip 100 years. Hagoromo is on his deathbed, as his brother Hamura is also with him. Hagoromo, then divides the Jubi into 9 pieces, which are the different, tailed beasts. He then gives them different names and different abilities, with the 9 tails being the strongest of them all. He then takes the husk of the 10 tails and shoves it onto the moon, where Homura takes the rest of his clan and puts it on the moon so he can guard the 10 tails husk so that no one will ever revive it. Hagoromo fails to notice an agent of the Shinju, Black Zetsu, slipping out of this, out of the Gero statue before it could be sealed away. Hagoromo is the will of the Shinju tree in order to get back its chakra. After Hagoromo has divided the tailed beasts, he then died, leaving his 2 sons. So, time skip 1,000 years. The clan wars have ended. Madara fought Hashirama at the Valley of the End, which Madara was thought to be defeated, but he did not die. He revived himself with the Izanagi. So he then left. Time skip after the third Shinobi War. After the third Shinobi War. It's the night of the attack of the 9 tails. The masked man, who is Obito Uchiha, attacks the Leaf Village. As he wants to free the 9 tails and use its power. Kushina, as the 9 tails, is Obito kidnaps Naruto and straps some paper bombs onto his blanket. Minato uses the Flying Thunderbolt, to beat Obito as he then goes to Kushina. Because, Obito, thinking he has failed to reach the 9 tails, he then rushes through hand signs, summoning jutsu, Obito says, as he summons, the Gero statue. He then, uses the 9 dragon seal to pull out the 9 tails from the statue. Since he cannot seal it up right now, he then pulls out the 9 tails. As he then desummons Kageo statue. The Naruto, not knowing what's going on, he then gets placed under the genjutsu as he then starts to ravage and attack the village. Minato, looking at his son, thinking of an option of what to do, decides to seal the Naruto's in his son, Naruto. Time skip. Naruto is 4 years old. Naruto is running away from villages. These guys are trying to attack him. They're calling him a demon, which Naruto does not understand. Each time he asks the third Hokage, the Hokage then says, "Forgive them, Naruto." They don't really know what they're saying. So Naruto is slowly growing sick of it. Time skip. Naruto is 12. Naruto has graduated the academy. Since he does like do the Mizuki arc, where he kills Mizuki with the cage Bushi no Jutsu. And then he gets given a headband by Iruka. Naruto joins the team of Sasuke and Sakura, with Kakashi as team leader, which they do the bell test, and it goes exactly as in canon. They enter the Tazuna arc, where Naruto is hailed as the hero of Wave. After that, they go into the junior exams. The third Hokage dies. I'm just skimming through these non-important events. So time skip. Naruto is at the finals of the junior exams. Jiraiya of the Sun comes back to the Hidden Leaf village. He wants to train his godson Naruto. He asked the third Hokage if he could train Naruto for the month. Which third Hokage agrees to this, as Jiraiya then goes and calls Naruto and takes him to train. He then lets Naruto sign the Toad summoning contract, as he then tosses Naruto off the cliff. So Naruto seeing this, he then says, even my own sensei hates me. I knew that everyone would hate me. Oh, thanks to Eren the Kyuubi. As Naruto's body is descending, it's falling down, as if it eventually slams hard onto the ground, where the natural rock curtains, they are spiky, it then gets pierced in the stomach. Naruto then says, at least I can finally see my family, he says, with Naruto Tsutsuki. Naruto is in the realm of the Shinigami, waiting for his time to be reincarnated on Earth. As the Shinigami appears in front of him. It then says, Naruto Tsutsuki. As it says, "Oh, Shinigami-sama, how may I help?" The Shinigami then tells Naruto, it was not his time to die. He was supposed to defeat the Shinju. But since he failed and ran out of chakra and died, the responsibility was passed on to his son. So the goddess Kami decided, to revive him so he can stop the Shinju once and for all. Which Naruto then nods, Shinigami then tells Naruto, since you've seen how your descendants have been fighting with the use of chakra, you can either choose to take it away from them or leave it as a gift to humanity. So Naruto then asks about who is he gonna get reincarnated into. Yes, the Shinigami says, "Oh, you get reincarnated into Naruto Uzumaki." Which Naruto Tsutsuki then says, "What about my descendant's soul? What will happen to it?" As he then says, "Oh, your descendant. He's glad that he has finally died, so I asked him if we use his body." As he then agreed, since he doesn't need it anymore, and he's gonna be together with his family. So Naruto's soul then gets placed into Naruto's body. as you know, the body then begins to get altered, to go along with Naruto's abilities. So Naruto's body then changes to the body of an 18-year-old. As he then puts it, under genjutsu so that no one can see his Rinnegan eyes, since they are always active. Jirai, who is on the top, is panicking. He's like, oh my god, I just killed Naruto Kushina's son. Jirai rushes off to the village to talk to the third Hokage, as he then explains what happened. The third Hokage, then summoned Monkey King Enma and turned him into a staff, as he then smacked Jirai on the head. Jirai, you stupid, you're dumb. How could you do this to the son of Minton Kushina? As Jirai cannot answer. He's like pretty much depressed at this point. So the third exam for the Chunin exam begins. As Naruto is to face Neji. Naruto then remembers, the memories of his old counterpart. He then says, seems it's pretty dumb. But I'm not dumb. I'll take care of it for you. So Naruto arrives in the nick of time. He is to face Neji. Jirai and the third Hokage, are looking at Naruto and are like, something is strange about him. I just don't know what. Orochimaru recently discusses the third Kazekage, is feeling, like some tenseness in the air. There's an unbelievable power which is behind it. And it's coming from Naruto. Orochimaru being the curious one he is, he wants to investigate and find out what it is. So, the battle between Naruto and Neji begins. Neji, starts preaching about faith, saying that it's your destiny to lose. Naruto then says, fuck you, you're not fate, you're not destiny, and I'll beat you down. Naruto proceeds to use a light Shinra Tensei, sending Neji flying. Naruto, then beats Neji brutally with some awesome taijutsu, which could make, Guy jealous. And Guy then gets jealous and says, wow, that's some heavy taijutsu. Even Lee is shocked and is like, Yoshi, I knew Naruto could beat him. Lee says, Tenten, Kurenai, all the Jonins, even Asuma, and the third Hokage, like, wow. Because, Naruto is beating Neji with some awesome taijutsu. Neji, then, like, does the 64 palms on Naruto, which Naruto then blocks all of them and says, 64 pounds. He then remembers, Kage creating this technique, but, Kage's techniques is, 128 pounds and, 600 and 360 pounds. So, Naruto then summons a sword. He, then slices and dices as he cuts off Neji's arm. And, kicks Neji down. As, Naruto then says, you're worthless, Neji. Never believe in fate. It's only you. You create your own path, Naruto says. As he's then declared the winner. So the next fights go the same until the time for Gaara and Sasuke to fight. So guys, I'm gonna leave off this video. I'm sorry if it's a bit shorter than my usual waves. I'm just a bit tired when I'm recording this. I think I'm gonna post it in the morning. I'm also working on what if Naruto had the power of the Infinity Stones. So yeah, that might be the next one. Guys also got a question. Would you guys like like a Naruto and Marvel crossover, what if? Which I make one though. I've been planning to make a DC one, but yeah, I can also make a Marvel one if you want. I've been writing the script for a long time now. So thank you guys. Peace out.